Everybody, how the heck are you guys doing? Hope you are well. Hope your day was well. It's kind of afternoon here for me. It's just about ready to rain. I want to get this out there because I've been thinking about this all the time here. And as you guys can see from the top of the screen, it says worldometers.info. Then it has /abortions. And the question, I guess the first question is what do you guys think you're looking at right here? And, if we're on abortions, obviously it is an abortion count. And this is how many abortions so far this year that we have done. And I want to do a little segment, and this is the very first part of this segment, because we're going to go through the commands, because there's so much taboo about the commands of our Creator and what exactly He wants for us in our life and what His wishes are for us. And if there's all this taboo with the commandments, then I think we should go over them. And so today is commandment 1. And it's actually not even commandment 1, it's commandment 1. It's about commandment 1 through 6, but it's going to be super short. And it's going to hopefully be something that you guys have never seen before, and something that you guys can understand, and you start building what the commandments of our Creator are about. Because I think once we get through all the taboo of the Christian religion that has us believing these are bondage, or these are some sort of a thing that people can't keep, or that it's long gone, it's nailed to the cross, which is biblically incorrect, we want to go over the first of the commandments. And it looks like it's going to probably start raining here, so I probably missed the good sound time. So if it gets crazy, I'm still going to roll with this and get this message out, because this is very important. And so what we're looking at here is we are looking at the amount of abortions that we have had so far this year. And as we look at this, every dot on this right there is a life, right? It is a life that has come. It is a life that has gone. It has been a presence of life. I believe that the second that an egg is fertilized, that there is life, that our Creator has given life and has blessed whoever that is with that life. And there's some terrible things about being in Babylon, or what I call Mystery Babylon, which I believe is the United States of America. What the problem is, and one of the reasons I left the United States of America, some about 8 years ago or so, somewhere around there, is because Planned Parenthood was government funded. And I had just found out about Planned Parenthood, and there was all those videos that came out about Planned Parenthood and the behind the scenes where they were harvesting babies, and they were doing just extreme wickedness, and our government was funding them. And when the videos came out, the only people that got in trouble were the people that produced the videos. I think a guy even went to jail. And so instead of them going and stopping this criminal organization from basically harvesting babies and delivering them to universities and to the highest bidder and to cosmetics and to food and to all this stuff, they didn't. And my heart broke. And what I decided for myself and my family is that if I am paying tax money and my taxes are going to this kind of a thing, I am complicit with this. I am murdering the babies, and I could not have that anymore. And so we picked up and we drove 19 days down to Central America, and we have lived here, and it is a beautiful place. We live in the middle of nowhere, but we would have never left if we hadn't read the Bible, and if we didn't know that we shouldn't be hurting and murdering the children and things of that nature, and that it does fall on us. Technically, I never had an abortion. I never killed anybody. But under my payment, I did, and I was complicit with it. And so I do have murders on my rap sheet for the times I did not know that I was complicit, because even though I did not know all those years prior that I was paying my taxes faithfully as a United States citizen, they were harvesting the babies. And it's unreal what it has come to. And I want to go off, and I want to show you guys this, where we're at. So abortions worldwide this year, we are at 35,838,873. And so this completely ties into everything that we need to do here. And here's another abortion clock that I wanted to show you guys. And let me refresh this. And it's imperative that we understand what in the world is going on. So in the United States today, according to the abortion clock, we've done 1,492 abortions. And then since Roe versus Wade in 1973, we've done 63 million. And, here's Planned Parenthood, they're chalking up the deaths to Moloch. This stuff is incredibly evil, and it's unreal what the world has become. This takes us into the part of the lesson that is a little bit better than looking at the deaths that were happening just one after another and seeing how that entire thing worked. Because the whole point of that is to explain that should have never ever been happening, right? We should have, they're constantly saying that the world is overpopulated. But when you get in an airplane, or when I used to get in an airplane and look down as we're flying over stuff, it's endless and endless and endless space, right? You would fly forever, and there's something here, something there, a farm here, a farm there, but it's not consistent until you get into the cities where there's just stuff everywhere, right? And so there's so much space that the entire depopulation thing it's crazy. The whole thing is a hoax, and there's enough room for all of us. And our Creator has said this, and He built something that was great. So this is commandment number 1. And Elohim blessed them, and Elohim said unto them, be fruitful and multiply. Now, who is He talking to right here? He is talking to Adam and Eve, right? This is the very first commandment that they have. He created them, gave them an ecosystem, gave them a way for food, gave them everything that they needed. And He says, here's the first commandment, right? You need to be fruitful and multiply. And then He says, and replenish the earth and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over every living thing that moves upon the earth. So when you first look at this and look at these commands, I don't know if this should be commandment number 1 or commandment 1 through 5 possibly, because we need to look at these in fruition here. When it says be fruitful, we have a comma there, and multiply. So when we're talking about being fruitful, what did our Elohim have in mind for us, right? Probably a productive day, right? Whatever we are doing, if we are doing it to the glory of our Elohim, that is what we should be doing, right? We should wake to our Elohim. We should think about His laws, statutes, and commands for all throughout the day, right? It's something that we have on our hearts, minds, and souls. It's something we pound into our kids' heads until they start pounding it back into our heads, until you guys, iron sharpens irons, right? We're supposed to be teaching this to our family. You're supposed to be teaching it to our kids and going over all this stuff like this, right? And so when we are told to be fruitful, we are told to stay busy, right? Don't become a couch potato. Don't become a slug. Don't let depression take over and ruin your life and ruin your ability to be fruitful, is what I believe it means, right? It's about being progressively forward as long as we're doing it in the way of the Torah, right? The Torah, when you look at what the Torah means, it means the way forward. Right? The way forward, right? It's not the law. It's not bondage. It's nothing. It's the way forward. It's what we should have had all the time. It's what we should be into. It should be our life. It should be our love, right? So here we are. We're supposed to be fruitful. Next, and we're supposed to multiply. So we just sat and watched 100 and some kids get killed as I was sitting there talking, right? Nothing we can do. Worldwide, Moloch's tables are just slicing these kids, right? It's a business, and it's not just a small business. It's a huge business. It's a profitable business because they're using these kids for parts and stuff. It's not just a kill the kid and it's over. It is now they have the kid. They control it. Most of these women probably just sign it away. They never want to see whatever Cletus the fetus was. They never want to see it, right? They didn't want it to begin with, and it's just an inconvenience for them. But you know what? It is still murder. It is absolutely murder. And so when we were supposed to multiply, we were never supposed to be taking our children to Moloch. There's commandment after commandment after commandment about not offering our kids up to Moloch. It is a problem. And since Roe versus Wade, it is a legalized problem that it's taken over the world, right? So the second commandment, the very first one is be fruitful. The second one, multiply. The third one, multiply, and I guess the second one and third one is, and replenish the earth. How do we replenish the earth, right? We don't destroy it. We have families. We build families and multiple people and farms and growing stuff. And, we're supposed to live it, and we're supposed to take care of it, and we're supposed to subdue it. So our Creator says we're supposed to use these, Use the resources that we have. Let it regrow. And there's laws for letting it regrow. Every 7th year is a Jubilee year. You're supposed to let your crops grow. The 6th year, you're supposed to cut it down for 2 years. And on the 7th year, you don't go for it. You let the poor have whatever comes to it. So we have first command, be fruitful. Second command, we say multiply. Third, replenish the earth, or multiply and replenish the earth, one and the same. Subdue it and have dominion over it, which is the fourth. And have dominion over the fish of the sea and over the fowl of the air. So there's 6 commandments, and over every living thing that moves upon the earth. So there's a lot to be said here, right? When we are talking about the laws of God, every Christian, or most Christians, believe these are tossed on the cross. These don't apply to you. The only thing that applies to you is the 10 commandments out of Exodus, but that is a flaw because they've never read this Bible and they've never seen that as good. Everything in here is good, right? What is not good in this? We're supposed to have a family. We're supposed to be good. We're supposed to basically, continue on with the human endeavor of creating and building and doing the things that we do, as long as we're doing it in the name of our Elohim, right? When we get lost in our own world and we become the God of our own world, that is where we lose our Elohim. And so we are sent here. We are supposed to be fruitful. We're supposed to have kids. We're supposed to replenish the earth, and we're supposed to subdue it. We're supposed to eat the fish with scales and fins, right? We're supposed to be able to kill the birds, chickens, and eat them. If a hawk is coming or an eagle's trying to kill you, you should have the ability to kill it. We're supposed to be able to subdue the animal kingdom. And we're supposed to, the last part of that, and over every living thing that moves upon the earth, right? And so humans are supposed to be the kings of this castle. We were supposed to be the ones who ran this, who did it, and who were supposed to keep a set of guidelines, right? Imagine a world right now if the entire world kept the Torah, right? We wouldn't have the murders that we have, and if we did have the murders, it would be a system for it. We wouldn't have the kind of adulteries and the ways of divorcement that we do now. There was a system, and even in the Bible, the divorce is a way out, right? If it's not working out, there is a way out. But then it gets to our Messiah, and our Messiah says, don't do this. You'll soften your hearts. And so, but there's still a system. If your hearts are unable to be softened, and if you're unwilling to make amends, then there's ways for all of that. There's laws, right? So let's go back to this. And Elohim blessed them, and Elohim said unto them, be fruitful and multiply and replenish the earth and subdue it and have dominion over the fish of the sea and over the fowl of the air and over every living thing that moves upon the earth. That's it, guys. So that's commandments 1 through 5 or 1 through 6. I don't really know. I don't know how to label this one, because as we're reading through the Bible right now as a family. We just started over in Genesis. And so as we go through here, we want to be very careful, and we want to mark every commandment that we can find so that we can tell people how silly it is that these commandments are too tough for you, or it's the old way of the Jews, or it's something that doesn't apply to you. These commandments apply to you if you want to be a child of the Most High. If you want to be a child of Yahuwah, Yahweh, Yad-Hed, Vad-Hed, right? There's a set of ways. And, people have a way that they believe are right. And that's why we have so many religions, and 99% of the people are in a religion or have been indoctrinated by a religion and have never read the book that we're discussing right now. So anyway, this is the very first commandment. I hope you guys are good. I am out.